What is a subject matter expert? In this video, we're going to dive into that and more. And hey there, my name is Josh, and I'm the founder of Technical Writer HQ, and I have over 10 years of experience in technical writing. And this video is for professionals and technical writers who want to learn more about subject matter expertise. And this video will cover subject matter expert responsibilities, traits, skills, and how you can become a successful subject matter expert. But before we dive into all that, take a moment to subscribe to our channel, and that way you won't miss any of our future videos. Now, let's go ahead and get started. So a subject matter expert, or SME or SME, is an expert or authority in their field. And in the organizational context, an SME is an authority on a specific area, practice, process, hardware, software, or even technology. And organizations with multiple divisions and departments can often have several subject matter experts within each division and department. And here are some examples of SMEs in different industries and commercial sectors. So we have law. For example, a firm lawyer specializing in bankruptcies is a subject matter expert. As per standard practice, law firms employ lawyers who often specialize in different areas of law and are therefore subject matter experts in those specific areas. And then we have IT. In this example, we have an engineer with expertise in the installation of a particular operating system on different types of hardware. And then manufacturing. Skilled machine operators with hands-on experience in a particular manufacturing process. And next is leadership. An industry veteran with decades of experience who helps companies implement, let's say, growth strategies and different business ideas of how to scale. And then we have the example of SEO. So let's say an SEO consultant who helps companies improve their website search rankings. And some individuals and organizations do not have to have a specific title or position, but are simply recognized as subject matter experts because of their experience and expertise, of course. And there are also individuals with titles and positions who are designated as subject matter experts within companies. Some examples often include chief data scientist, chief engineer, chief financial officer, technology specialist, investment consultant, and manufacturing advisor. And that's just a few of the many titles that are out there. And subject matter experts carry out several critical functions for organizations. One is promoting efficiency. The main function of a SME in any organization is to promote efficiency. So let's take the example of an employee who needs the answer to a question or to understand a difficult or complex concept. Now, one approach the employee can take is to keep trying until they find the answer or develop the needed understanding. Now, this approach does not guarantee the desired result, and I'm sure we've all gone down that route before. And even if it does succeed, this approach can consume a significant amount of time. And as the saying goes, you do not need to reinvent the wheel. Rather than working hard, the employee can work smart. The employee can consult a subject matter expert. And in doing so, the employee will not only get the answer and/or the understanding that they need, but the employee will also learn about the many other relevant aspects of the matter. And this second approach has a higher probability of success and requires less effort and less time. Then we have analysis. So a subject matter expert can analyze issues and data often at a level made possible only by combining their education, experience, and training. And their analysis really helps organizations unearth and dig up risks, opportunities, inefficiencies, weaknesses, and strengths. Now, based on this analysis, organizations can improve their strategies and business processes. And at this age of big data, many people might conclude that computer programs can analyze data better than humans can. While there is no doubt that machines can handle much larger data sets than humans can, however, humans and subject matter experts design the machines and the algorithms that those machines run on. And ultimately, only subject matter experts can figure out if a machine is working as it's supposed to or is generating erroneous output due to a misconfiguration or other problem. And now we have documentation. So subject matter experts work often with technical writers to create complex documentation for projects and products. Even though SMEs are experts in their field, they might lack the skills required for communicating with non-technical audiences. And SMEs can also lack the skills required for working with sophisticated documentation tools and processes. This is where technical writers come in. They conduct detailed subject matter expert interviews to learn and understand the topics in question and determine what information is relevant and what isn't. Now, technical writers then create documentation that is easy for all audiences to understand. The SMEs then review and edit the documentation. And we have teaching. Subject matter experts communicate relevant specialist knowledge to lay audiences and non-specialists. They serve as guides and mentors for individuals and teams that need their support. And SMEs also communicate relevant knowledge in an accessible way to people higher up in the organizational hierarchy. And the CEO, CFO, and board members are all skilled in matters of business and might even find it hard to often understand technical concepts and the relevance of technical concepts for business and growth. And that creates often friction unless there's the ability to break that down in a way for them to understand. So subject matter experts educate these business experts and answer their questions, queries, and clarify their doubts. And the next part we have here is developing expert recommendations. So SMEs can provide organizations with specific and actionable recommendations to improve their business strategies, processes, and models. Depending on organizational goals, an individual subject matter expert or a team of subject matter experts can make recommendations based on their specialized knowledge. And the following are essential traits of successful SMEs. We have that they're educated. In some areas, expertise is impossible without breadth and depth of theoretical knowledge. And this is especially true for specialized and research-driven industries. And this is why SMEs often have a formal academic degree. For example, industries dealing in the development of hazardous chemicals need experts who know how to manufacture, store, and transport such dangerous chemicals. Now, for such industries, a PhD in chemistry may be required to understand the processes for the development, safe storage, and transport of the hazardous chemicals. And academic education is not, however, a prerequisite for expertise, though, as you may already know, especially in information technology, IT, where things are moving at light speed. Professionals can become subject matter experts in this industry without a 4-year degree and sometimes just hopping right in. Now, relevant certifications and some years of experience give IT professionals the knowledge and skills needed to become SMEs, as long as they're working in industries that are using technology that's on the cutting edge. And we have experienced. Subject matter expertise is often a product of experience rather than formal education. Now, the business world is focused on results, and any person who works hard can learn through on-the-job experience and training. Over time, such a person can acquire relevant experience that is of value to a business. And this value is due to the acquired ability of the person to get things done. In contrast, an individual with many degrees might not be able to deliver because the individual knows a lot of theory about many different things, but possesses simply no skill. And that is why industries will recognize expertise as someone who has long-term knowledge and skills in a given area over someone with just theoretical ideas and theoretical practice. Now, they should also be curious, because a curious attitude is essential for all SMEs to stay on the cutting edge with their expertise. And knowledge and information keep changing and often increasing, and new technologies are created every day. People come up with new ideas every day as well, and an expert, any expert, cannot remain an expert without a curious attitude. Curiosity is the fuel that pushes experts to learn, to find new ways of thinking, to improve existing methods, and to come up with game-changing breakthroughs. Now, they also have to be cooperative. An organization cannot benefit from an SME who works in isolation. An organization can only benefit from an SME who has a cooperative attitude and is willing to help anyone who needs their advice and expertise. And these are the most important skills for subject matter experts here. We have teamwork. Organizations are complex entities. An individual working alone cannot accomplish anything significant in any organization. Only teams working together can achieve success. And we see this all the time. And that is also why teamwork is the most important organizational skill. Successful subject matter experts are skilled at teamwork. They work with many people throughout the business and collaborate with teams and individuals who need their advice and support for different tasks and projects, and maybe writing a great piece of documentation on a particular feature of a particular product. And we have communication, which often goes hand in hand with teamwork. It is one of the most important skills for any employee, regardless of position too, and their work domain. SMEs have to communicate on a regular basis with team members, project teams, sales teams, and key stakeholders. Effective communication skills are essential because of that. And they need excellent written and verbal communication skills and expertise in the use of a variety of communication vehicles. So what does that mean? That means often knowing how to write great emails, knowing how to write great messages within messaging channels, and much more. And knowing what to communicate and how to communicate are both essential. The what pertains to the idea of information that one has to communicate, and a person cannot communicate effectively until the what is clear. The how pertains to the best way of getting the idea across and varies with the context. The best way to communicate with different individuals varies too. So how an expert communicates with an entry-level employee is going to be different from how the expert communicates with a director or the CEO. And the best way to communicate with different groups also varies depending upon the audience's interests, level of understanding, and attitudes. Organizations use different communication tools such as email, video conferencing, and other business communication platforms. And knowing the limits of each tool and using it accordingly is also essential. Organizations have their own dynamics, and the best way to communicate in an organization can only be learned after working in an organization. And of course, what does that mean? Well, that means that it comes with experience. And that's why experience in not only the technical aspects of the job is essential for subject matter experts. Now we have another big responsibility here, which is knowledge management. The definition of knowledge management includes 3 types of knowledge that often SMEs are responsible for. You have tacit knowledge, so knowledge acquired through experience, whether it is personal or professional experience. Then we have implicit knowledge, the embedded knowledge that one is aware of, but which is not documented. And then we have explicit knowledge, which is the knowledge that one is aware of and which is documented. Now, what happens is that even though subject matter experts can have a significant amount of knowledge and expertise, they cannot remember every single piece of information that they'll ever need, just like most of us. In addition, information will be difficult to locate if it's scattered among documents, emails, and notes. Therefore, SMEs need to use knowledge management principles to protect knowledge, whether tacit, implicit, or explicit. So ultimately, they can access and share it when needed. Now, how can you become a subject matter expert? Well, by following these steps. 1, choose a specialty. The first step is to select your area or niche. The selection can be based on personal interest, market demands, or other factors. And take care not to make an impulsive selection. If you want to become an SME in an area, then you must be sure that your area will stay relevant in the long term, or that you can use expertise in that area to transition to a more lucrative area or niche later on. And the best way to develop this long-term perspective is to consult with people who have experience and who can guide you. Then we have to acquire knowledge. So after selecting your area or niche, the next step is to acquire that knowledge in that area or niche. And depending on your selection, you can choose a college degree, certifications, or maybe interviewing subject matter experts that are already out there. And degrees offer several benefits and have a few drawbacks though. And the benefits of college degrees include sometimes their market value, credibility, and breadth and depth of theoretical knowledge. But sometimes they're just not very practical and they have high costs and lengthy durations. 4 years for a college degree versus maybe a certification, which is focused on education in a particular area, and it's just a bit more economical. It may even take a few days to just a few months to complete compared to 4 years. However, certifications sometimes lack the credibility and market value of college degrees. It may not be that case anymore today, and we're seeing this change, so keep that in mind. And again, it's best to consult experienced people before deciding upon your line of action. Now, if you want to gain experience, it's almost impossible to become an SME without that relevant experience. So the environment you work in and the people you work with can make all the difference between success and failure here, as at least putting that brand forth that you know what you're talking about and that you have that implicit, explicit, and tacit knowledge. An ideal environment is a cooperative environment where you can ask questions without fear, where people generally want to help you, and where you have mentors who can guide you. That's what you need to be looking for in order to get to where you want to go here. Again, when deciding where to work and gain experience, consult with more experienced people is essential. And you also want to seek opportunities for continuing education and training. So once you have acquired knowledge and experience in your chosen area, then always continue looking. Be like, hey, can I go from being a product manager to a data product manager? Can I learn the data science behind product management? There's so many areas to continually learn. And continuous learning and upskilling are essential if you want to keep up with the fast pace of innovation and change. Now, there was a time when one person was able to do many things. However, this is the age of expertise. And for this reason, organizations in the modern economy place a high value on experts. And SMEs are the go-to people in modern organizations. Whenever an individual or team has a question, they're stuck with a complex issue or need expert advice, well, they consult with the unofficial or official subject matter expert. And SMEs are respected, valued by organizations they work for, and well compensated, well, you'd hope. Now, through dedication and hard work, you can also become a successful SME. And there you have it, everything from what a subject matter expert is, their responsibilities, traits, and skills, and the path that you can follow to become a successful SME or subject matter expert. And thank you for watching this video and sticking with me all the way to the end of it. Again, my name is Josh. I'm the founder of Technical Writer HQ, and I can't wait to see you in some of our other videos where you can learn more about technical writing, documentation, how to work with experts to create documentation, and much, much more. And I'll go ahead and see you there. Cheers.